Good evening and welcome to the first ever NFL Draft Show on NOLA.com, where for the next 4 hours we'll be streaming live from our downtown New Orleans studios here at One Canal Place. We'll be bringing you up-to-the-minute news on how the first round unfolds, focusing on the Saints and their plans. Along with my broadcast partner Jim Rapier, I'm Jim Derry, and we'll have several cut-ins to Saints camp tonight, where Rachel Whitaker is standing by with our Saints experts Jeff Duncan, Larry Holder, and Catherine Terrell for predictions and analysis. Also, we'll have Jim Kleinpeter and Ron Higgins out at LSU. So tonight, Jim, what do you see tonight for what should be an exciting night? Maybe the first real exciting night since the 2006 draft.
It's a great night of anticipation in terms of you're wondering what the Saints are going to do. They've got 2 picks in the first round, and rebuilding, maybe not rebuilding, not like in 2006, but the anticipation there is there where you're going, what are they going to do? Because in 2006, suddenly at the last second, the Texans said they were going to take who they were going to take, leaving the door open for Reggie Bush, and then suddenly everyone's like, oh my God, we could have Reggie Bush, and they were trying to really rebuild the team coming off a disastrous 2005 season, and Jim Haslett no longer being the coach. They didn't just not want Jimmy Graham anymore?
Exactly, and you're glad Jimmy Graham's gone. Okay, well, no. But, Jimmy Graham made a lot of money, and it's a deal that they put together last year, and they realized, hey, number 1 on this team is and will be until he's gone number 9, and they can't afford everybody, so they got to make some sorts of move. So I really think that I think there's a good chance they draft a quarterback. Going back to the long-winded response, I think there's a good chance that they draft a quarterback in this draft. Very good chance, and I think it'll be in the first couple rounds, but not round 1.
All right, Jim, I'm switch gears on you.
Okay.
Draft-wise. There's a unique situation with the Saints here. They have 5 picks in the first 3 rounds, and if my research is correct, it's the 3rd time in the history of the franchise they've had 5 picks in the first 3 rounds. The other 2 times, 1981 and 1986, proved highly successful both times. Can they do it again?
I think they can. I do. I have a feeling, and we got the 1981 draft up there, and that was Bum Phillips. George Rogers, that was a no-brainer that year, getting the Heisman Trophy winner out of South Carolina. And you look at the rest of that list, all played key roles, and obviously Ricky Jackson played a key role, but for younger fans that are out there, the other players on this list all played key roles in this team for a long time.
In the Jim Moore regime.
Absolutely, and Russell Gary was on the team for quite a while. He probably had the least impact of the 5 maybe, but Frank Warren was an anchor on the defensive line, and Hobie Brenner, Hobie Brenner was a fantastic tight end for 10 years?
He wasn't the fastest mover, but he had hands of gold. If it was in his arm radius, he was coming down with the ball. And one thing that you won't see on that screen is the 16th round pick on that team, formed with Frank Warren on that defensive line as a staple, was Jim Wilkes out of San Diego State.
And we talked about the younger fans out there. Younger fans don't even realize 16th round, what are they talking about? Yes, they had a lot more than 7 rounds back probably, 12, 15 years ago?
Early 80s it was.
If you decide, okay, we're not trading up. When do you start, I don't want to say getting nervous, but when do you start getting a little bit more on edge? Maybe we should ask Rachel and Jeff that question.
You want to go to them?
Let's go to them.
Let's go out to Saints camp.
Question I just asked, and Jeff, if you're sitting in the war room right now and you're Mickey Loomis and you've decided we're not trading up, we're staying at 13, when do you start getting on edge?
Huh? You mean as far as when you would trade up, Jim?
No, I mean when do you start getting that little itch? Like, okay, it's coming to us. We're going to stay at 13. And you've got your eyes on 3 or 4 guys. When do you start getting nervous if you're Mickey Loomis?
Oh, I think probably right around 5 or 6 is when the Saints will start seeing some of these edge rushers come off the board, guys that they're probably interested in themselves in taking this pick. And at the number 13 pick, they're going to be on edge right around that time, because that's probably about the time when they're going to start having conversations about potentially moving up if they do move up. I know what you're saying. He's probably not going to, but I think 5 or 6 is where edge rushers are going to start flying off the board, Jim.
What's going on in that war room right now? What are Sean Payton and Mickey Loomis doing in there right now?
Well, surprisingly, they're probably just watching the draft like everybody else. I know everybody thinks there's a lot of crazy activity going on. Probably not so much right now. They've done a lot of that a lot of that homework before today, a lot of the work that they've done, talking to teams before them in the draft, trying to find out who might be willing to move. That's all been done the last 2 or 3 days, trying to determine everything. So now they're watching the draft on a TV screen just like you are, but they have a list of general managers, numbers, different people in that war room have different connections with different teams. And so a guy like Sean Payton, he might be close, for instance, to John Fox, guy I used to coach with. He might be talking to him in the Chicago Bears war room, whereas someone else on the Saints staff might have worked with another coach, and they're talking to those people, just trying to get a feel for what's going to happen before them. So it's not always just Mickey Loomis. It's the entire staff is working the rest of the league.
Real quick, your prediction.
I think they go Devontae Parker. I wouldn't. I said most of the night I didn't think they would go offense, but I think you can't leave them on the board. So that's
here
going
he
to be
comes.
my pick.
I'm
Here
going to
comes the commissioner.
I'm saying Bud Dupree.
Okay, well, we'll find out.
In the 2015 NFL Draft, the New Orleans Saints select Andrews Pete.
We're both wrong.
But yes, we were.
Wow. Andrus Pete, I'm at a loss for words. I'm truly at a loss for words. I don't know if we're supposed to give. You're the color guy. You can give your opinions on that pick.
6'6", 300 pounds. He's not lacking in size. I'm a little surprised as well. They went offense. Now they did go offensive line. I'm just a little surprised in that they obviously did not see what they wanted. Defensively, that they felt could come in and make an impact, and they feel this guy.
As you see some highlights up on our screen right now of Andrus Pete and what he did at Stanford, and
Now he played left tackle, and the Saints are pretty set at left tackle with Mr. Armstead, who is a pretty doggone good player, who'll be entering his third year in the league. If Pete becomes a starter soon, you're looking at a young, physical, and aggressive offensive line.
How long have you been waiting to say Unger is younger?
I don't know. Did I really say that? Oh my God, I'm a poet and I don't even know it. All right, but
Oh man.
Okay.
I tell you, things are going to start getting crazy right now.
Let's go on over to the whiteboard just real quick and talk about
Go ahead, Nash.
who's still available, and not so much maybe for the Saints right now because they're picking at 31, but who is actually still available out there for other teams and the ripple effect it could have.
I'm
on
just
the
happy
Saints.
you actually had Andrus Pete on your board.
It was one of the last ones.
In fact, I think that was the last name.
It was the last name I wrote on there. But okay, Andrus Pete is gone. He's now a New Orleans Saint, at least right now. Doesn't mean they're not going to make a trade, but I doubt it. All right, so Andrus Pete here. He's gone. And I believe Devontae Parker was just taken by the Miami Dolphins.
By the Dolphins.
And so he's gone. Still on the board, wide receiver-wise, Nelson Aguilar, Brashard Perryman, who no denying how good of a player he is and what he has and what he brings to the table. The big red flag issue with him is actually on field. Sometimes he a little loose on the hands. He doesn't hang onto the ball as well as he should in terms of catching.
Commissioner with the 31st pick of the NFL Draft. We were wrong once again, but they did go defense. They picked Stephon Anthony of Clemson, and
well, they went inside.
I was wrong. I was wrong. I said I wouldn't be surprised. I'm surprised.
They didn't. I was thinking if they went maybe along the inside linebacker route, that they might go maybe Kendricks from UCLA. But Stephon Anthony is 6'3", 243.
But all of their analysis it'll be here. So stick with us at NOLA.com after our show's over. But we're not ready to leave you just yet. We've got some comments from Sean Payton. Let's roll the tape.
He was a player that obviously for us had a real high grade. We feel like not only is he a good young athlete, but his upside we feel is tremendous. He's got great size, great makeup, character. He's got versatility to play either tackle position. It was kind of interesting in the early part of that first round. First off, where the second quarterback Marcus went, and then kind of hanging in there. Sheriff got taken maybe a little earlier than a lot had projected, and so you wait at New York. They selected another tackle, and we played around with possibly moving up. we were fortunate that he was available at 13. You know, he's a player we're real familiar with. David Shaw and I had worked together back in Philadelphia. We've had this player shoot on an interview at the Combine. We've had him here on a trip. And, you know, for us, clearly, we felt like it was our highest rated player on the board at that time. He was a player that obviously for us.
Well, that makes sense. He worked with David Shaw. I mean,
Exactly.
that explains it. I didn't even think of that angle, but why Andrus Peat would be here coming on his way to New Orleans.
But, I'm sitting there going, you know they're just going to pull the rug out on you before it's all, and they did.
Kind of like your first 20 girlfriends.
Yeah, you know what? That's not even draft topic.
I've been waiting for 4 hours to throw that in there.
Well, but no. Most importantly, the two things that I want to emphasize is I think the Saints addressed some needs. I'm a little surprised. I didn't see these particular picks coming, but they definitely got some quality players. At least it appears on paper that they got some quality players. We'll see how they pan out. And the most important thing I can say about tonight is we're coming back tomorrow night.
Jim, it's been a pleasure. We'll do it again tomorrow night.
Yeah, second round, stay with us. NOLA.com has you covered.
So we're going to wrap up the show for tonight. I want to thank everybody, not just my partner here, Jim Rapier, who has done a few radio games as we delve into the multimedia world.
Exactly.
But you know, we have a big staff back here behind the glass that are telling us what to do. Big T-bone back there. Jeff Duncan, Rachel Whitaker, Catherine Terrell, Larry Holder, who didn't come on tonight. We thank everybody for being with us. And tomorrow night, we'll be back tomorrow night. The second round starts at 6 o'clock. So make sure you join us. Come right back. And thanks for being a part of the first ever NOLA.com NFL Draft Show.
See you tomorrow night.
For Jim Rapier, I'm Jim Derry. We'll see you tomorrow night.